So before we get into the meat of the presentation today, let's just start first things first and talk about MarTech. What is MarTech? So it's the combination or the integration of marketing and technology. If you're doing any kind of digital marketing today, you're dealing with MarTech. Scott asked, and I think everyone in the room raised their hands to say, are you dealing with some kind of MarTech today? And really, marketing isn't marketing anymore today unless you're dealing with technology. So when you think about the different categories of MarTech that there are today, there's just a couple of them listed here on the screen. And it's really focused on some key areas. This is taken from Scott Brinker's MarTech Landscape Map. These are the categories he uses to kind of think about all the different technologies that are out there. But what's really interesting is in a recent Gartner CMO survey, the CMO Spend survey from this year, they found that MarTech is now the largest % of investment in companies' marketing budgets. So 29% of marketing budgets now are dedicated to technology. The next biggest bucket is labor costs, right? The costs of our talent. So we're going to talk a little bit more about those two things and how they work together. So I'm going to cover three things in this presentation. So we're going to start with a discussion, and I'm going to spend probably just a little bit of time in 1 and 2, and we're going to spend the most time in number 3. But the first thing that we're going to talk about is how we use technology. So it's really important for us to be able to tell our leaders the benefits that technology brings to us as marketers. So how are we using it? What does it give to us today? The second thing we're going to talk about, and this is what the poll up at the beginning of the presentation was asking you for your input in, is what are the reasons that leaders say no? The more we understand the reasons they often say no, the more we can be prepared for how to make them say yes, right? How to make sure that we're answering the questions that we know they're going to ask of us when we're building that business case to bring new technology on board. And then the third place that I'm going to spend most of our time is actually how do we tell a better story? How do we build that business case so that we get those leaders to say yes? And a lot of times they say no, and it's our fault. Right? We didn't build a case for them. We didn't give them all the information that they need to say yes. So Joe Polizzi talked about this in the beginning keynote yesterday. Right? This idea that a lot of senior leaders don't really understand what we do in marketing. And that extends even further when we're talking about marketing technology. Right? They don't understand how it impacts our work. So that's a big part of what we need to do as marketers, how we need to do our jobs better to explain to them what the benefits to the business are. Okay? So we're going to jump right in to talk a little bit more about how we use technology as marketers. So I mentioned this at the outset. Marketing without technology isn't marketing at all anymore. We really has become such a cornerstone, such a centerpiece to how we do our daily jobs. And technology really gives us the information we need to understand our customers better, understand our audiences better. It's going to give us data that we need to understand who our customers are, to understand if they are buying, when they are buying, why they are buying, and then also helps us drive efficiencies and performance in our own organizations. So a lot of technology today helps us as marketers be more efficient so that we can spend more time focused on creating more content, creating the right content, making sure we get it in front of the right audiences. So a survey that was done in 2017, so it's a little bit dated now, but talked to senior leaders and CMOs in Australia, the UK, and the US, and it said that they're mainly using technology to help them better understand their customers and prospects and to help automate processes and reduce admin within their teams. And that's certainly two of the biggest reasons we at Eaton are using technology. It's that better understand your customers, and the balance to that is making our teams more efficient and productive. So in the end, what technology really helps us do is better enable the 4 Ps of marketing, right? So if you think about product, place, price, promotion, and someone was telling me there's a 5th P in marketing, but I don't know, when I was in school, there were just 4. So we're going to stick. People, is the people? Okay. We're going to stick with the 4 for now. But what technology really helps us do is get the right product into the right place at the right price and doing the right promotions. It's giving us the information we need to make better decisions, to optimize our campaigns, and to drive better processes in our organizations. The other piece of the puzzle is around performance. So one of the really interesting things that we find, and this is a very specific quote from SiriusDecisions and their high-performance content strategy operation, but what we find is that high-performing teams and companies better leverage technology than underperforming teams and companies. So this is a very specific quote that speaks to a content marketing platform or a project management or workflow tool that if a team publishes a content calendar in a tool, they are higher performing, they are more likely to be high performing than teams that don't publish content calendars through a tool. So you can see a lot of these kind of very niche examples of using technology to drive performance within a team. So we're going to talk now a little bit about reasons why leaders say no. So this could be everything from the cost is too high to I don't understand the value of it, I don't see the ROI. What are some of the reasons you guys said? And we're going to bring up that poll data. Okay, so just some of the things that you guys said. I don't have my little monitor on down here, but so some of you in the audience, and we had this poll up on Twitter earlier this week, you don't see any ROI, it's too expensive, we don't have a budget, it's hard to measure the value of that investment, we can't afford it, we already know all of our customers. How many of you guys have heard any of those reasons why your leaders are saying no to MarTech, right? There's a lot of reasons for them to say no, but there are also a lot of reasons for them to say yes. It's coming. Okay, here we go. So we're not the only ones, those of us in the practice of marketing, that feel this way. Right? 34% of CMOs said their company's resistance to embracing and investing in innovation and technology is the #1 thing that keeps them up at night. So our senior marketing leaders are feeling the same thing. It's not just that those of us that are doing the work feel this way, but our senior leaders are saying, hey, this is the #1 thing that's keeping me up at night. The second thing in this same survey was that they don't have the talent that they need to actually drive the digital transformation in their organizations or to actually leverage that technology. How many of you guys have seen the Chief MarTech Landscape before? Scott Brinker's awesome graphic. So he started this in 2011. There were 150 technologies on it in 2011. Now, in 2018, there are over 7,000 technologies on this map. So this is overwhelming for even your most tech-savvy marketers, right? People who understand technology, who are building their tech stacks, they're looking at this list and they're like, I don't even know what to do with this. There are so many options. You put something like this in front of a senior leader who doesn't understand marketing and then doesn't understand marketing technology, and they just get completely overwhelmed. The other piece of the puzzle is we as marketers have often done the shiny penny, right? We've gone to our senior leaders with like the cool, newest thing that we want to add to our stacks, right? And we haven't talked about strategy. We haven't built a stack, right? So we just keep bringing them these shiny new pennies that we want them to invest in. And they get overwhelmed. They don't understand what the landscape looks like. They don't understand the benefit that it brings to their business, so they say no. Does anyone know what zombie tech is? So I'm gonna give a shout out to my team who coined the phrase zombie tech, but it's basically, it's neither dead nor alive, right? So how many of us have rolled out technology, have gotten very little adoption, and that technology just continues to exist in the stack. We never kill it. It never goes away, right? But our leaders remember, like, didn't you just ask me for something and you rolled out and we spent a bunch of money on this new technology platform? You said it was going to drive productivity efficiency. It was going to make us leaner. It was going to help us be more engaged with our customers, and no one uses it. Everyone? Yeah, anyone? Yeah, so So this is what we've started to call zombie tech, right? That we don't take the time to kill off the technology, to remove it from the stack, and to make sure that our stack is strategically answering the questions and the challenges that we put in front of our businesses. So I'd mentioned talent a little bit before, too. 84% of CMOs cited that finding the right talent to manage their digital transformation, so that includes everything from data science to digital technology, content creation, social media management. They don't feel like they have the right staffs to actually effectively use the technology that they either already have in place or that they want to put in place. And that's really what we need to help our leaders wrap their arms around. So when we think about the reasons that they say no, it's I don't understand the technology, I don't understand the strategy behind the technology, so why would I invest in it? You're not showing me any return on that investment. But the other piece is, I don't know that we have the right talent to actually make the most use, to actually make a benefit out of the technology that we put in place. And talent and technology go hand in hand. It really is the story of, the weakest link in your chain. So when you think about your strategy in building your technology stack in the operations of your organization, you also need to be thinking about how are you going to nurture the right team that has the right mindset, that has the right skills, or how are you going to build skills in your current team to make sure that they can solve for the challenges of the business and leverage the right technology tools to do that. So now we're going to really get into the meat. So that was all setting the stage, right? So we have explained to our leaders kind of the overall benefit of technology, not speaking to a specific technology platform, but we've said, hey, these are the things that it helps us do, right? It helps us better understand our customers, get more information about them so that we can create the right kinds of campaigns and optimize our processes to reach the right audiences at the right time. We also better understand some of the reasons that they have for saying no, so that when we put our business case together, we can make sure that the case that we're selling is going to answer the questions before they even ask them. We need to make sure that we put the work in ahead of time. And one of the reasons why I'm up here on this stage is because we've made all of these mistakes, right? So my intent is to be able to be here to tell you about some of the things that we've learned out of this process so you don't make the same mistakes we did. You can build this case up front before you go to your leaders and then come to them with that full-baked business case so that they can say yes. We've had a fair number of instances, just like all of you had, where those leaders have said no. And out of that came this process for what's really worked for us moving forward and how to tell a better story so that we get the yes that we need. So there are 4 steps in building the business case for getting your leaders to say yes to marketing technology. So the first is mapping your marketing process. So like I said, Joe Polizzi said it yesterday. I said it earlier. Our senior leaders don't understand what we do. And if you have a senior leader who understands what you do, that's awesome and gives you another kind of champion to have as you're going through this process, someone that can help to explain to the senior leaders, to other senior leaders, kind of the benefit that marketing brings to the organization, how it really ties into the business impact that you can have. The second piece is identifying the opportunity. So before you even get into the technology, you need to talk about what the challenge is that you're facing in your organization and what the opportunity is if you were able to do something different or better. And then you introduce the technology as the answer. So the technology that's going to help you do that, you need to introduce them to that technology and the value of that technology. And then the last piece is actually building the financial business case. And this is often the piece that marketers forget, right? Most of us don't love building financial business cases, right? There's a reason we went into marketing and not into accounting or finance, but it's a really important piece of the puzzle, particularly when you have to make a case to your CFO, right? When you actually have to go get in front of the financial community, it's really important that you have a strong knowledge and understanding of the financials behind what you're asking them to invest in.